Yes, very, very intriguing image. Lots of story. It's got all the elements. Unfortunately, like it's really got a lot of good elements. On the right, the crop on the right is just this. It's not balanced. If you just take care of that and have that balance, I would have scored. I actually did score it 8, but then I would have changed it.
This one also has a caption. The aerial perspective of this fallen tree allows the viewer to observe that the ground below is wet with a network of crisscrossing sheep tracks. From this vantage point, the viewer can see small pools of water that have collected in the sheep tracks, reflected in the sky above. This image scores an 8, a silver plus. Mark, can I get you please?
Yeah, I gave it an 8. Very happy with that. I love the fact that the tree's beautifully white. It's centered perfectly. And to see that greenery around it, when I first saw it, I thought the top half was actually trees and the bottom half grass. And even though it's shot from above, it actually looks like it's been shot side on, like as if the tree was growing out of the earth. So I think it's very, very well seen and fantastic work for it.
Next image, please. This image has scored an 8, a silver plus. Oh, okay. That's okay. You go. We have 2 9s and a 10. So you.
Oh, does anyone else want to challenge it?
The 10 challenge.
We got the 10.
We're going up.
Oh, Shane, do you want to challenge?
Okay, you lot. Look, I see such magic in this image. We've got this amazing aerial, of course, and you've got this two-dimensional caricature of the landscape as well. We are really clever here, people. This is just really, really beautiful. Also, the tonal qualities throughout both sides of the image have got this innate understanding and feel of like Van Gogh's painting, almost like the swirly kind of thing of Van Gogh. To me, it's just really magic. I think that it can't go any higher than a 10, and I think that's where it should be. I think that you guys are not seeing it right.
Let's go to Greg.
Yeah, I was a little bit weak-kneed on this one. I should have gone to 10 straight away. It is the landscape within the landscape. It's a caricature. It is so many things. I mean, it works purely on the topography as an illustration of actually what it is. Dendritic flows into the kind of riverbed there, but then it has this beautiful cartoon nature about it and quirky fine art feel. So yeah, I think we're doing it an injustice by, what was it, an 8? Yep.
Okay. I don't see what you see, unfortunately. Like when it came around, I feel I've seen an image like this before, so it didn't really appear new to me. Yeah, I'm really kind of lost a little why you all think it's called distinction. But I'm listening.
I can ditto to that. The one bit I do like about it is that the line running through it with what looks, from a distance you could think that was a road, and the trees, like a line of trees running that road. I'm keen to hear more. I will come up, but yeah, I'm not sure if an actual 10 would be where it sits. So.
Yeah, I think an actual 10 is exactly where it should sit. I think we have the range to work with, and we shouldn't be afraid of getting right up there when it is asking for it, and this is, we've used a lot of words already, and it's hard because then we start having a competition of words. But even at the core feeling of a cave painting on a wall, that timeless art style where that black line that you saw, Mark, that could be a road, is also a streak of ochre from thousands of years ago that streaks across the page, and it feels so natural and so textural and so timeless. And the dimension from two-dimensional illustrative to this three-dimensional, are we looking sideways, are we looking top down? We could do both. It's a journey, it ticks all the boxes, and I don't want to compare to anything else, but this is something we haven't seen a lot of this year. And it's a really, really powerful image, and it's subtle, but no less powerful as any kind of painting of the last 4,000 years.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate those comments. I just, straight away, the multiple dimensions of the possibilities in this image are what has made it exceptional in my world, the way I've judged it. So I think that's what it needs to be a 10 for me.
Fantastic. This now scores a 10, a gold plus. It's our very The overall effect of this image is one of renewal, harmony, and interconnectedness. It's a massive tidal movement in the region, reach dynamic landscapes, winding water paths, and uplifting sands. This image is a testament to the raw power and beauty of nature, showcasing the strength of the largest tidal movements in the southern hemisphere. This image was created on Yarraroo country. This image scores a 7, a silver award. Shereen, can I have a quick comment from you, please?
Beautiful image. Congratulations to the photographer. I'm loving the textural content down, especially in the foreground here. Colour palette is absolutely amazing. I think that you've captured a really beautiful and emotive piece here.
This image scores a 5. Johannes, can I grab a comment from you, please?
Yep, interesting image with some interesting features. I'm not particularly drawn to the color palette. It seems a little bit unauthentic. So maybe just play around a bit more for the photographer, or just do what you do and maybe a score.
Okay, next image, please. This one has a caption. Seeding in the wheat belt. Seeding. 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 It's a mark. Seeding.
Sure. Yes, well done to the photographer. It's a very well done image. It's a great vision. I think probably the one thing that lets it down is it's just a little bit too symmetrical, and it's crying out to have a bit more tension in the way it's cropped. It could have been probably cropped a little bit tighter on the right-hand side, to my eye. But overall, still very well done.
This image scores an 8, a silver plus. Welcome to Life Challenge.
Yeah, I'll be quick because I don't ever have support. I've got this in a gold, and it's very difficult to talk about images like this because they floor you, but what can I tell you that's not already there? Except that it's a beautiful palette. The colours are deliberate but so organic. It's the most macro version of a landscape I can get because I'm getting skin tones and cell tones and a very, very human palette in the centre here. And the colour play keeps me journeying around and around this central stream forever, and then landing in that golden kind of lung heart thing just in the corner there. It's subtle but flawless in the execution. So I don't know, there's nothing to fault. And I really think it belongs in the gold category, and we must talk about it.
Okay. I definitely think it's an award-worthy image. That the blues for me, I'm finding just a little too intense, given the rest of the colour palette, and I can see how someone might say they like that because of the more pastel nature of the rest of the image. But to me, it's just a little bit too distracting.
Yes, absolutely stunning image. I must admit I was sort of hovering on the 9 here, so I'm glad you challenged this, Nathan. I particularly like, the containment with the top of the image, how it doesn't sort of let you sort of fall out of the image, and it's just absolutely captured beautifully.
Yeah, I love the color palette. I was hovering around 9 too, and just settled for 8. Just because for a 9, I thought I really would have liked to see, so there's another element in there that symbolizes something that draws me in emotionally, like say in the middle. If that would have happened, I would have been straight there, but I think I'm going to come up anyhow because, it's beautiful, it's exquisite in the color palette, and it's also very nicely balanced.
Yes, I scored this originally 8, and I will be going up. I think we can't interpret this print, you might say, too literally. I think here is an opportunity seen by the photographer to create something out of something which was arguably a little bit mundane. And I think they've just done a really, really excellent job of, you might say, manipulating colour and texture. The craft in post-production here, I think, is exquisite. So yeah, I think we should really just give a little bit of a kick along.
All right, it sounds like we're in a pretty good consensus for gold. The beauty of art, pure art, is that it bypasses cognitive function, and we feel something first. And if we try too hard to understand it and put cognition around it, it might not work, because this isn't really its purpose. It's the feels of what this colour palette is working with that really work. And I think those intense blues, if we were shooting a stalk of blue, then we'd want some colour separate. We want some separation between the sharp thing in the background, and it kind of does that. it gives us this dimensionality that doesn't feel like just this flat surface. There's distance now. The colours are quite deliberate. There's an earth and there's a sky and there's a greeny nature piece as well. And it just really feels like a brushstroke of creation. There's all these arty things going on, but we'd fall short if we try to really understand it and scientificise it. But as it stands, I would love to see this in gold.
So Nathan will hold his score at 9, and the other 4 judges will score, please. This is now unanimously 9, a gold award. The next image, please. This image scores a 6 and a bronze award. Greg, would you like to make a point? Go there, Mike.
I think this image probably needs a little bit more around it as a starting point, a little bit more of what the landscape and the context of what's happening here would help. Also, I believe that covering some of this landscape is some water, and what water can do is soften the definition of what's underneath. And unfortunately, we're just not reading the water and surface very well, which gives it a general overall softness, which I think is detracting. So, yeah, a little bit more space around it, a little bit more context.
Can I very quickly say something? You said rounded, a round crop, I think, so on the right side, a round crop, that would look, I think that would be really cool for this image. Only because you said rounded, it's like, hey, it's just good.
Next image, please. This one also has a caption. The city of Perth, shot from 4,000 feet, before a blanket of smoke descended from a wood fire. This image scores 5. Janet, okay, comment to this, please.
Yes, certainly some interesting colours here with the onset of that smoke almost ready to descend. I just don't know what the photographer could have done to, sort of bring it up into the award category. So I don't know what I'm offering here, but it's a cool shot.
Next image, please. Okay, we believe this one has a caption. Shifts in the density of the salt lake surface have caused the crust to break under the weight of 2 emus. You can observe a loss of definition in the emus' tracks as they cross the softer section of the lake, leaving a trail of black mud in their wake. The entire scene telling a unique story of a journey through the harsh yet beautiful environment of Western Australia's outback. This image was created on Wodjura country. This image scores 7, a silver award.
Yeah, it's a very exquisite color palette, and the movement at the bottom, as in it's not movement, or it looks like movement, like water splashing, is also very intriguing. Plus the obvious, to enhance the image, I think, so the left side is brighter than the right side, and it's kind of leading the eye out of the image. If you control that, and put my emphasis in the middle, I think you're gonna have a stronger print.
This image scores an 8, a silver plus. Mark, can I go to you?
I really enjoyed this image. I love the colour palette, the greens and the reds, the complementary colours or opposing colours for those two. And I really enjoy the man-made fighting against nature with the structure just jutting out into the ocean there. So yeah, really nice image.
I'd like to compliment the photographer for trying a few different things that we haven't seen before. Number one, to render what is a scene that would have a lot of colour in it as a black and white. And also the choice of equipment, to use a tilt shift lens, kind of a little bit of shine flag on it to throw the background and foreground, selective focus. So why did it probably only get a 6 and not something higher after that? And I think it just comes down to the overall tonality, the quality of the tonality. If that had have been just enhanced a little, I think it would have scored, maybe 7 or 8 even. But yeah, congratulations for showing us something different. Well done.
This image scores a 7, a silver award.
Yeah, lovely. Great concept. I kind of saw a bit of a cross in there too, which, this is a symmetry from above, the way I see it. It's also really interestingly framed with trees, another symbol of life. Yeah, congratulations to the photographer.
This image scores 7, a silver award.
Yeah, I love this illustrative Sean Tan depiction of algae making shadow puppets against the wall and making themselves look all sharp and spiny when they're all soft and warm and green. To improve it, it's just a little bit heavy around some of the edges, a little bit muddy in pieces, and a little bit too sharp in other pieces. So it's just like when it prints, it would probably come out really, really interesting. So there's a lot of potential in this.
This one also has a caption of what we believe. Salt pans in the wheat belt. This image scores a 6, a bronze award.
Yes, beautiful graphic and interesting design, and great colour palette too. So, yeah, it's just a lovely image. But I don't know that what we could do to bring it up into a silver award, because it's just a good, solid, professional picture. Yeah.
This image scores an 8, a silver plus.
Really? 8? Okay. We talk about images having a wow factor and like that immediate feeling you get when you see the image for the first time. And that's exactly what I got when I saw this. The colour palette, that streak of green and that streak of brown going up with the branches, it looks so much like a tree on the top of a hill. And then I get closer to the image, and when I get closer, the textures all around it, it almost looks like it's printed on a canvas, and it's a digital print. So I'd really implore you to please come up for that. So.
Yeah, great. I was in the silver range. That's a 7. Look, there's a lot of space that isn't a wow factor for me, and the wow is everything you saw, the streak of green and the detail and the golden tree thing that's not a tree. But everything else, all of the stuff up on the top right, and I get that the tree could be a lonely tree, but at the same time, it's just, I'm losing my wow. I'm getting distracted by the nothingness in the edges. And this thing needs to be really, really big, or I need to get close enough that I can really enjoy all of the textures, the aurora australis or whatever next to the tree, all of that stuff. So I'm lost a bit in this gaping lack of wow on the edge, but I can't argue with the wows that you see.
Yeah, it was right up there with wow for me at number 9. Yeah, and just not even the fact that it's a tree, it looks like a leaf as well. There's so many different shapes and textures and waves almost. So it transcends the ordinary and is right up there in the extraordinary.
Yeah, I see a sailing ship. In my imagination, it is. But I scored a silver too. And what held me off is the same what held Nathan off, this sort of yellow brownish big space at the top, that if that would have been more like neutral, I think I definitely would have gone higher straight away. So that just kind of, it looks a bit muddy, and then the texture that Mark really likes, for me, that's, you know, I know it's not over sharpened, but it sort of reminds me of that a little bit. So those are the things that held me back, and I'm really not sure if I want to go to gold with that, all that color on the right that actually it doesn't speak to me. But Greg still has something to say.
Yeah, look, Johannes, I'm kind of with you. Look, I saw the wow, I went, wow. But then I went, oh. And it's when your eye travels around the rest of the image. And as important as that tree or sailing boat or whatever it is, it still has to live in that environment. And that environment has been selected by the photographer to be purposely put there. And it's all these other things, which a few of us have already mentioned, that unfortunately should not have been there. So I scored it an 8. I think it's absolutely an award print. But I couldn't go to a really high score when there are so many things which are distracting me.
All fantastic comments, and I get everything that where you're coming from. That space on the right-hand side for me is just I see it as a nice negative space, and you know, we know exactly what we should be looking at. Like I said, it looks to me like it's on a hill, so everything underneath it, there's movement, texture, and that at the top looks like a sky, you know, to me as a sky. As much as I'd love to see it come up into a gold, but yeah, I appreciate all your comments. So fingers crossed.
Sandy Point New Broome consists of a 4 kilometre long augmented by the water's flow, stretch out in the distance. The image was created on Yuwara country. This image scores a 7, a silver award. Greg, can we have a quick comment from you?
A worthy silver, I believe, and well done to the photographer. Again, this image for me just falls into the category of, again, I'd like to see a little bit more elbow room for it, a little bit more what's around there. The little dendritic flows which have been cut off, the large ones and that. I want to see kind of where they start. That gives me more of an idea of the landscape, and I think it would also, there's a little bit of tension in that image which I don't think's working for it, and it's simply because we're not seeing, you might say, the top of the head almost.
This one also has a caption. A panorama of Perth's southern facade, stitched from 18 images, shot from a Cessna 172 at 2,500 feet. Over 1,000 metres were covered at 204 kilometres per hour between the first and last image captures. Do you need me to read that again?
No.
This image scores 7, a silver award. Yes, you sure can.
Technically very, very difficult to do this in a moving aircraft at 200 and something knots, was it? Or kilometres an hour. So, yeah, a little over 100 knots. So, probably the thing which has left it as a 7, was it? Yeah. And not brought it up into a high score is that possibly there's some information there which is just not required. And I think that a lot of that bottom area, I can understand why you'd want to put it in, but all the technical beauty is running through the middle and slight top, probably just above the stadium there. And if it was a long, skinny panorama with all this beautiful technical stuff going on, I believe this would have scored much higher. So, number one, well done to the photographer. You've really jumped over some huge technical hurdles here. But having done that, put your creative hat on and just work out how you're going to entice the viewer. And don't give them anything to be lost in.
This image scores 6, a bronze award. Janet, can I have a comment, please?
Yes, beautiful colour palette, and it's just such a well-caught professional image. I don't know that it's offering up anything new that we haven't seen before in this style of image, though. So that's that's where it sits, just under that silver, but certainly a solid, beautiful image.
This one also has a caption. On the steep slopes of Tujay, the ewes raise their lambs. This image scores 5. Mark, can I have a quick comment?
Sure. Lots of lovely detail in there. I can see what the photographer was going for. Tried at that time of day, you get the shadows that almost make the shadows look like the animal, and the white is not the animal. But I think this could have worked at a better time of day. I don't think that part has translated well. So at a different time of day, maybe an earlier morning or a late afternoon light would make it a lot nicer.
This image scores 9, a gold award. We have, we have 2 10s. Nate, we're going to...
Yeah, 2 out of 5 10s. This won't be too hard, I don't think. Yeah, I'll let us all talk, because the more we talk, the higher this will go anyway. It's beautiful, it's fetal, it's cute until we get close, and then there's these blood splatters that make it real, and it almost hurts. It's flawless. It's something we have barely seen before ever in terms of the construction of an aerial image, relatively untouched. This is a portal through to a monochrome image, but wrapped in this rich colour. These blues and reds are so symbolic of many symbols. There's the layers of just artwork around the edge is it's just magic. The lighting is so subtle. The reds are visceral. There's so much in here, but I can talk more, but I'd love to let you guys just share your thoughts as well. It's a magic image.
Yeah, it is absolutely stunning. You're quite right. Yeah, there's not too much you can fault about it, really, is there? Yeah. So some beautiful layers and shapes. Yeah. Interesting to keep looking at it and hearing what the others have got to say.
Yeah. When this came up, the very first thing that popped into my head was, whoa, Black Betty, Bambalam. The tones that are through that, let's say the background of the image, are just beautiful. I was so tinkering on whether to go 10, 9 or a 10, and I did go 9. I'm starting to regret that now. I love the red. It was the top part of the red in the right-hand corner that sort of felt a little bit flat to me compared to how dynamic it is at the bottom. So I think that's why I stopped it from being a 10, but let's keep going and see what we can do.
Well, what can you say about this? This is absolutely stunning stuff we haven't really seen too often, if ever, in aerials, but that exquisite palette of the reds and the blues, and just enough space around it to bring your eye right to where it's all happening in the middle. All I can say is that, yeah, I got it a 9, I'm going up to a 10.
Yeah, I scored this a 10 straight off the bat. I don't care what it is. It is just exquisite. And you don't need any explanation. No, it just smacks you in the face. So, yeah, I just encourage everyone else to have a rethink.
I think we're all there, but I'm not sure if every point counts in this, but please definitely rethink whether this just sits on a solid 10. Mark, if there's a vague area of that splatter of kind of rusty blood ochre, you'll see it in print, and I think that'll be resolved for you anyway. But it's beautiful, and I think it's pretty much a perfect image for us. Yeah, thank you.
Unanimously, this score.
Well done.
Great discussion, you guys. Well done. Okay. Deep breath. Let's reset. Next image, please.
I really enjoyed this. I like the symmetrical look of it, split down the middle. I would ask the photographer, have a play with your colours, and if you could bring those reds into more of a brown tone. The vertical crop works, and it's just reminding me of a giraffe's neck. So I think if you played with your colours to get it that close, then I think it would be a lot better award.